Urgent, it dropped like a bomb. Important decision about LeBron James is revealed. Stay until the end to find out everything. But before starting the video, leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any important news about the Lakers. At 40 years old, LeBron James continues to defy expectations. The Los Angeles Lakers star has long been considered the greatest basketball player of his generation, possibly of all time, and yet as the 2025 offseason begins, his future in the NBA remains a mystery. After 21 seasons filled with records, championships, and accolades, the question lingers. Will LeBron return for another campaign, or is this the final chapter in a storied career? LeBron has hinted at retirement before, but his tone this time carries more weight. Following the Lakers' early exit in the 2024-25 playoffs, he made it clear he was unsure about what lies ahead. "I'll need to sit down with myself and really think about how long I want to keep playing," he told reporters. "Honestly, I don't have that answer right now." Despite the uncertainty, his performance throughout the season was anything but sluggish. Averaging 24.4 points, 8.2 assists, and 7.8 rebounds per game, he was still a commanding presence on the court. His efforts earned him a spot on the NBA All-Second Team, a testament to his continued excellence. Even after 2 decades in the league, LeBron remains a top-tier competitor, showing no obvious signs of slowing down. According to a report from NBC Sports, sources close to the situation believe that LeBron is leaning toward playing one more season, likely staying with the Lakers for another run. However, his longtime agent and trusted confidant, Rich Paul, remains cautious when speaking publicly about the star's next move. "I really have no idea what he's going to do," Paul said during an appearance on The Rich Eisen Show. "Usually, our approach is to take everything into consideration, how he's feeling physically and mentally, what the bigger picture looks like. It's been that way for the past few years. At some point, he'll come to a decision about where his head's at, and then we'll go from there." LeBron's introspective nature plays a key role in this moment. Throughout his career, he's shown the ability to evolve, not just as a player but as a leader, a father, and a businessman. He's always weighed his decisions carefully, whether choosing between teams or managing his health and longevity in the sport. Retirement isn't just about walking away from basketball, it's about what comes next. After falling to the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round of the playoffs, LeBron didn't speak like someone bitter about defeat, but rather like a man preparing for transformation. "I don't know. I wish I had a clearer answer," he said when asked about retirement. "It's something I'll need to discuss with my wife, my family, and my inner circle. We'll talk about it and figure out what makes the most sense." As the sports world watches with bated breath, the debate swirls. Is this truly the twilight of LeBron James' legendary run? Or just a pause before one last act? One thing remains certain. Whatever decision he makes, it will be deliberate, calculated, and undeniably impactful. For now, the King stands still on the court, waiting to decide whether to write one more page in the book of his iconic legacy. The 2024-25 NBA season ended in disappointment for the Los Angeles Lakers, as they bowed out in the first round of the playoffs, falling to the upstart Minnesota Timberwolves. For many fans, analysts, and teammates, the loss was a gut punch. But for LeBron James, it represented something more personal, the beginning of a deep internal dialogue about his future in the game. LeBron had gone into the postseason with hope, even at 40, still performing at a level that younger stars struggled to match. His averages were remarkable, nearly identical to his prime years: 24.4 points, 8.2 assists, 7.8 rebounds. Yet, individual excellence wasn't enough to push the Lakers past a younger, hungrier Minnesota squad. It wasn't just a defeat on the scoreboard, it was a symbolic confrontation with time itself. In the aftermath of the series, the media swarmed with speculation. Could this be it for the King? Would he leave the stage without a farewell tour, without one last championship run? LeBron, however, remained composed and reflective. "I've never made decisions in the heat of the moment," he said calmly during the post-game press conference. "This isn't just about basketball. It's about life. It's about energy, passion, and whether I feel like I can give this game what it deserves for another year." He didn't sound broken. He didn't sound defeated. What he did sound like was someone weighing the value of his time. The early playoff exit wasn't entirely shocking to those who followed the Lakers closely throughout the season. The team had moments of brilliance, but chemistry issues, injuries, and inconsistent defense plagued them when it mattered most. Anthony Davis battled through physical setbacks, while role players struggled to find consistency. The result was a team that leaned too heavily on its aging superstar. And yet, despite all of that, LeBron made them contenders. I've said it before and I'll say it again. He's still our engine, Lakers head coach Darvin Ham said after the final game. Everything runs through him. What he's doing at 40 is not just incredible, it's historic. But historic moments don't last forever. The locker room atmosphere after the elimination was somber. Teammates avoided eye contact with reporters. Some players offered quiet thanks to LeBron as they left the building, unsure if they had just witnessed his final game. Even veterans seemed shaken by the uncertainty. Outside the arena, Lakers fans stood with signs that read, "One more year, and don't leave us, King." On social media, tributes poured in. Hashtags like #ThankYouLeBron and #GOATForever trended worldwide. It wasn't a farewell, but it certainly felt like a prelude. LeBron's response to all the noise? Silence for the most part. A few cryptic Instagram stories. A couple of training videos, still in the gym, still putting in work. But no announcement. No final word. Rich Paul, his agent, offered minimal insight when approached by the media. "He's earned the right to take his time," Paul said. "When he's ready to talk about the future, he will. And whatever that decision is, I'll support it." This isn't the first time LeBron has faced a crossroads. He left Cleveland for Miami, returned to Cleveland, took his talents to Los Angeles. Each move was calculated, meaningful, and ultimately transformative, not just for himself but for the league. That's what makes this moment so monumental. It's not just about whether he'll play again. It's about how his decision will echo across the sport. Will he chase one final ring? Or is it time to pass the torch, to his sons, to the next generation, to a future off the court? As the days pass without a decision, speculation intensifies. But if there's one thing history has taught us, it's that LeBron James doesn't follow the crowd. He sets the tone. And right now, the world is listening for the next beat. Behind every game-winning shot, every MVP season, every playoff run, there's been another constant in LeBron James' life: his family. As he contemplates what could be his final decision as a professional basketball player, it's not stats, awards, or records that weigh heaviest on his mind. It's the people who have walked with him through every step of the journey. His wife Savannah and his children, particularly his eldest son Bronny. For LeBron, being a father has always run parallel to being an athlete. He didn't grow up with a consistent father figure in his life, and from the moment his first son was born, he committed himself to changing that narrative. Even as the demands of NBA superstardom threatened to consume him, LeBron built his career around balance, between court and home, spotlight and silence. So it comes as no surprise that when asked about retirement, his first response wasn't about his body or his stats. It was about the dinner table. "I'm going to sit down with my wife, with my kids, with my inner circle," he said following the Lakers' playoff loss. "It's a family conversation, not just my decision. I owe them that much." For LeBron, family isn't a background detail, it's the core of his life. His wife, Savannah, has been by his side since high school. She's not just his partner, but his anchor. Someone who's helped him stay grounded through years of media scrutiny, public praise, and personal evolution. Their 3 children, Bronny, Bryce, and Juri, have all grown up in the public eye, yet LeBron has fought to give them as normal a life as possible. Now, in 2025, the lines between LeBron's personal and professional life are beginning to blur in a profound way. Bronny James, his eldest, is preparing for the next phase of his own basketball journey. Once a promising high school player, Bronny's development has taken center stage in recent years. LeBron has openly expressed his desire to one day share the court with his son, calling it a dream scenario. But with each passing season, that dream faces more questions than answers. Bronny's NBA readiness is still being evaluated by scouts. Some say he needs another year of growth before he can make the leap. Others believe his basketball IQ and name recognition might be enough to land him a spot on a roster sooner than expected. But one thing is clear. If LeBron plays one more season, it might be as much about legacy as love. He wants to do it for Bronny, said a close friend of the James family. He's already done everything there is to do in the league. But playing alongside his son, that's history. That's never been done before at this level. There's a poetic symmetry to it. The boy who grew up without a father becomes the man who might play professional basketball with his own son. It's the type of narrative that transcends sports. It becomes legend. Still, the question remains, is it worth it? LeBron has nothing left to prove. For championships, for MVPs, countless all-star selections, Olympic medals, and an all-time scoring title, his resume is unmatched. But the emotional weight of sharing the court with Bronny is the one goal he has yet to fulfill. At the same time, he understands the pressure that his presence brings. I never want to overshadow his moment, LeBron once said in an interview. I want Bronny to find his own path, not live in mine. It's a delicate balance. Playing one more year to make history, or stepping aside so his son can shine independently. In the James household, that's the kind of conversation that doesn't happen in front of cameras. It happens over quiet dinners, long walks, and private family moments. Decisions are made with intention, not impulse. And so, while the media speculates and fans debate, LeBron waits. Not for the perfect situation or contract, but for clarity. Clarity about what's best for his legacy, yes, but more importantly, what's best for the people he loves. In the world of professional sports, time is often the fiercest opponent. Careers are measured not only by championships and records but by how long an athlete can compete at the highest level. For LeBron James, time has been a challenge, but one he's faced head-on with science, discipline, and an almost obsessive commitment to self-preservation. At 40 years old, LeBron is doing what few athletes have ever done, maintaining elite performance in a physically demanding league while outlasting generations of rivals. It's not luck. It's by design. LeBron has long been known for his unmatched investment in his body. According to various reports, he spends more than $1.5 million annually on personal trainers, recovery technologies, nutritionists, and other physical maintenance strategies. Hyperbaric chambers, cryotherapy, custom recovery protocols, a full-time chef. Nothing is left to chance. It's not just about how you train, LeBron once said. It's about how you sleep, how you eat, how you recover. You can't cheat that part. The results speak for themselves. This past season he averaged 24.4 points, 8.2 assists, and 7.8 rebounds per game, numbers most NBA stars would be thrilled to reach in their prime. He played with the same fluidity, vision, and explosiveness that made him a phenom at 18. And while his vertical leap may have slightly diminished, his game sense has never been sharper. That's the thing about longevity. It requires adaptation. LeBron has slowly but masterfully transformed his style over the years. Early in his career, he was a high-flying freight train, barreling through defenders with pure athleticism. Now he's a cerebral powerhouse, slowing the game down, reading plays 2 moves ahead, conserving energy for key moments. He's evolved into more of a facilitator, a chess master on the hardwood. And despite all the wear and tear, 21 grueling seasons, Olympic campaigns, deep playoff runs, he's avoided the type of devastating injuries that have ended so many careers. No torn Achilles. No chronic knee issues. Some ankle sprains, sure, and a nagging foot injury here and there, but nothing that forced him out of the game for long stretches. Still, LeBron is not immune to the whispers. Each season, analysts ask, is this the year he finally declines? And each year he responds not with words but with performance. Yet even he admits, privately and occasionally publicly, that his body doesn't recover the way it used to. Back-to-backs are tougher. Off days matter more. And preparation begins long before tip-off. Sometimes the hardest part isn't playing the game, LeBron reflected during a mid-season interview. It's everything that goes into being ready to play the game. Teammates often express awe at his dedication. Younger players marvel at his routines, The early arrivals, the ice baths, the film sessions. Even veterans like Anthony Davis have adopted parts of his regimen, recognizing that LeBron's method is less about superstition and more about survival. So when he speaks about possibly walking away, it isn't just emotion talking. It's a man who knows what it takes to perform at his level and what he risks by continuing. Eventually the game gets too fast or your body gets too slow, said one longtime NBA coach. But LeBron has delayed that point longer than anyone I've ever seen. That's the paradox he now faces. Physically he can still compete. But every season requires a greater toll, not just on his joints and muscles but on his mind, his time, and his family. The decision to return isn't simply about whether he can, it's about whether he should. In a league where the average player lasts barely 5 seasons, LeBron has dominated for over 2 decades. That alone is unprecedented. But what makes him truly unique is how he's done it, not just through natural talent, but through relentless care, knowledge, and intent. The clock keeps ticking. But LeBron, in defiance of it all, still moves with power and purpose. The body may one day fail. But for now it hasn't. And that's why the world still waits for his answer. LeBron James has always been more than an athlete. From the early stages of his career, he made it clear that his ambitions stretched far beyond basketball courts and locker rooms. As the possibility of retirement looms, the question isn't just what he's leaving behind in the NBA, it's what he's stepping into beyond it. Long before the phrase "more than an athlete" became a global brand and rallying cry, LeBron had begun shaping himself into a multidimensional force. His influence spans sports, business, education, media, and social justice. In many ways he has already transitioned into a new kind of legacy, one that doesn't require him to score another point or win another ring. At the heart of that legacy is the I Promise School, a public school LeBron founded in Akron, Ohio, in partnership with the local school district. Focused on at-risk youth, the school provides not only education but wraparound services, from meals and transportation to mental health support. It's a revolutionary model of how athletes can uplift their communities not just with money, but with a vision. "I know what it's like to grow up in a place where opportunities feel out of reach," LeBron said during the school's opening. "This isn't about basketball. It's about giving kids a chance." Then there's Spring Hill Company, the media empire he co-founded with longtime friend and business partner Maverick Carter. The company produces films, television, and digital content with a mission to empower diverse voices and reshape narratives. With projects like Space Jam, A New Legacy, The Shop, and critical documentaries, LeBron has carved out a powerful role in entertainment, one that will only grow if he steps away from the NBA. In the business world, he's equally influential. LeBron has invested wisely, owning stakes in Blaze Pizza, Liverpool FC, and various tech companies. He's not just endorsing brands, he's building them, influencing them, and creating generational wealth for his family and community. So, why does any of this matter when we talk about his basketball future? Because for LeBron, basketball was always a platform, a launching pad to something bigger. Retirement doesn't signal an end to his influence. It simply marks a shift in focus. And perhaps, after 21 seasons, he's sensing that the world needs more of that LeBron. "I've always known basketball would be a chapter, not the whole story," he told an interviewer once. "I want to change things, not just games." That mindset became especially visible during moments of national crisis. In 2020, amid social unrest and protests over racial injustice, LeBron was one of the loudest voices in sports calling for systemic change. He helped launch More Than a Vote, a campaign to fight voter suppression and increase civic engagement among Black communities. He didn't hesitate to use his platform, even when it came with criticism. He spoke out on issues other athletes feared to touch, from police violence to political accountability. In doing so, he redefined the role of the modern athlete, not just a player but a public figure, an activist, a leader. Now, as retirement becomes a real possibility, some wonder if he's ready to lean fully into that role. "LeBron doesn't need the game anymore," said a prominent sports journalist. But the world might need the version of LeBron that's free from the daily grind of the NBA, the one who can build, speak, lead without the constant pull of a season schedule. Still, walking away isn't easy. The game is in his blood. It's what gave him everything: the platform, the wealth, the influence. Letting go means redefining himself all over again, even if he's already proven capable. Yet the pull of something larger persists. Whether he's in a boardroom, on a soundstage, or speaking at a community center, LeBron is already shaping the next phase of his legacy. He's no longer just a player, he's an institution. And that reality might make the idea of retirement not an end, but a necessary beginning. What separates a great athlete from a legendary one isn't just physical ability, it's mindset. Over 2 decades in the NBA, LeBron James has become the embodiment of mental resilience, strategic intelligence, and emotional control. He's not only survived the weight of expectations, he's thrived under them. And now, as he stands at a career crossroads, it's that same mind that will guide his next move. LeBron's basketball IQ has been described as generational. Teammates call him a coach on the floor. Opponents call him a system unto himself. Whether he's dissecting defensive schemes, calling out opponents' plays before they happen, or adjusting his team's offense mid-possession, LeBron isn't just playing the game, he's often 2 steps ahead of it. "I watch more film than I sleep sometimes," he once admitted. Preparation is everything. It's no coincidence that many of his most iconic moments were not just physical feats, but acts of incredible awareness, like the block in Game 7 of the 2016 Finals, where timing, positioning, and instinct all converged in less than a second. Or his famous game-winning passes to open teammates, sometimes criticized by casual fans but praised by those who understand the power of trust and decision-making. This deep cerebral approach has extended into his leadership as well. Unlike some stars who lead with volume or intimidation, LeBron leads with example and influence. He knows how to manage egos, nurture younger players, and command respect without demanding it. Teammates, from journeymen to all-stars, often describe him as both a big brother and a standard bearer. "You don't want to let him down," said a former teammate, "because you know how much work he puts in. You know he's watching." That leadership style is why so many teams have revolved around him with immediate impact. Miami, Cleveland, Los Angeles. No matter the city, the system, or the roster, LeBron became the gravitational center. Not just because of his talent, but because of how he thinks, motivates, and adapts. So now, as he faces the toughest decision of his professional life, he's approaching it the same way he's approached every final series, every trade deadline, every big play, with calculation and clarity. "This isn't going to be emotional," he said in a recent interview. "It's about legacy. It's about impact. It's about purpose." Those words echo deeper when you consider what LeBron has already sacrificed. Every offseason, he commits to an exhausting cycle of training, film study, nutrition, travel, and recovery. Every season, he mentally prepares to lead younger teammates, carry the weight of a franchise, and meet the expectations of millions. Even now, he understands the responsibility of playing is as much psychological as it is physical. But that pressure builds over time. The question now isn't whether he can continue. It's whether he wants to. "I don't fear the game changing," he once said. "I fear staying too long and losing the edge." That inner voice, his toughest critic and closest advisor, is now asking, has the fire dimmed, or is there still one more chapter to write? Retirement isn't just a public decision for LeBron. It's a deeply personal moment that will define the rest of his life. If he walks away, it won't be because he's tired. It will be because he's fulfilled. Because the competitor inside him, the mind that's always sought out new challenges, has found a new arena. Until then, the deliberation continues, not publicly but in quiet moments. On late-night drives. In solitary workouts. In thoughtful conversations with those closest to him. That's where the real LeBron emerges. Not the icon, not the highlight reel, but the man searching for clarity between 2 versions of himself, the player and the legend. And whichever path he chooses, one thing is certain. It will be deliberate, intentional, and executed with the same precision that has defined every step of his career. LeBron James has never belonged to just one team. While he has played for the Cavaliers, Heat, and Lakers, his presence has extended across the entire NBA. He is, and has been for nearly 2 decades, the unofficial center of gravity of the league. And now, with his potential retirement looming, the NBA is holding its collective breath. It's not just a star possibly leaving, it's the departure of an era. Front offices across the league are quietly recalculating. While LeBron has not made a definitive decision, even the possibility of his exit has ripple effects. Teams that had previously structured their rosters around competing with LeBron-led super teams must now consider a post-LeBron NBA. The calculus changes. Rivalries shift. Marketing plans adjust. "You don't replace LeBron James," said one Western Conference executive. "You reorganize reality after he's gone." It's hard to overstate the influence he's had on how teams are built. In Miami, his presence sparked a wave of super team construction. In Cleveland, his return instantly transformed a rebuilding franchise into a title contender. In Los Angeles, his arrival helped revitalize the Lakers' brand globally. Where LeBron goes, attention follows, so do ticket sales, primetime games, merchandise spikes, and broadcast ratings. His potential exit leaves a vacuum. The league is already preparing for the narrative shift. While younger stars like Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards, and Victor Wembanyama are poised to carry the torch, none of them yet possess the mythic scale of LeBron, a combination of longevity, production, and cultural relevance. The NBA's marketing machine has heavily leaned on LeBron as a household name not just in sports, but in pop culture. The media, too, feels the weight of his potential retirement. Daily debate shows revolve around his every move. Social media surges with his highlights, stats, quotes, even cryptic tweets. LeBron's career has been a constant topic of conversation in ways few athletes ever experience. If he steps away, the ecosystem of commentary and coverage will shift dramatically. Then there are the fans. For a generation, LeBron is the NBA. Some have never watched a season without him. For others, he's the reason they started watching at all. He's been the face on posters, the name on the back of jerseys, the figure on video game covers. Whether you love him or love to root against him, LeBron has defined the modern NBA experience. So when he says he's unsure about returning, it hits different. It's not just a veteran contemplating the end, it's the most enduring symbol of basketball in the 21st century questioning whether his time has come. Even the players, those who grew up idolizing him, feel it. Younger stars like Devin Booker, Ja Morant, and Trae Young have all acknowledged LeBron as a guiding influence. Some have even said that just sharing the court with him was a career highlight. If he walks away, many of them will have to recalibrate their sense of competition. The bar LeBron set won't vanish, but the chance to chase him head-to-head will. Internally, the Lakers are watching closely. They've built their franchise around LeBron for years, giving him input into roster decisions, embracing his timeline, adapting to his style. If he chooses to retire, they don't just lose a player, they lose a system, a vision, an identity. The future would instantly become uncertain, even with talents like Anthony Davis still on board. Meanwhile, the NBA league office is undoubtedly preparing tribute plans. While LeBron hasn't announced anything, the league has always been deeply aware of how to commemorate its icons. Whether it's jersey retirements, farewell tours, or Hall of Fame induction ceremonies, the league understands the gravity of saying goodbye to a player of his magnitude. But until LeBron speaks, everyone waits. That's the strange power of his indecision. It holds weight not just over games or seasons, but over entire institutions. His silence becomes the story. His uncertainty becomes the narrative. And in this quiet moment between seasons, as franchises strategize and fans speculate, the entire NBA finds itself in limbo, hovering between past and future, between farewell and one final run. It's a pause not of loss but of reverence. Whether LeBron James plays another game in the NBA or not, his place in history is immovable. His career spans far beyond the numbers, the trophies, or even the moments. What he built, on and off the court, has reshaped the meaning of greatness, and when the time comes to say goodbye, the game itself will pause to pay tribute to a man who became more than just a player. He will retire as the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. He'll leave with 4 championships, multiple MVPs, countless All-NBA selections, and a finals resume unmatched in consistency. But LeBron's true greatness was never about statistics alone. It was about what those numbers represented: durability, excellence, and relentless ambition. He entered the league in 2003 not just as a promising high school phenom, but as the chosen one, a title given to him by magazines before he played a single professional minute. Most would have crumbled under that weight. LeBron embraced it. And then, astonishingly, he exceeded it. Over 21 seasons, through changing eras, evolving styles, shifting teammates, and intense scrutiny, LeBron remained not just relevant, but dominant. He adapted, transformed, and thrived in ways no athlete of his caliber has before. While others had peaks, he had decades. While others declined, he recalibrated. He never chased greatness, he sustained it. His longevity will forever be a case study. But legacy isn't built only on time. It's shaped by impact. In Cleveland, he brought a championship to a city that hadn't won one in over 50 years. In Miami, he redefined how stars collaborate and command their narrative. In Los Angeles, he brought the Lakers back to glory while simultaneously becoming a force in business, education, and activism. In every chapter of his career, LeBron raised the bar, not just for basketball but for the athlete as a cultural leader. His voice echoed beyond arenas. When he spoke on racial injustice, the world listened. When he built schools and production companies, he didn't just make moves, he modeled a blueprint. He used his platform not as a pedestal, but as a megaphone. He didn't run from responsibility, he invited it. The term LeBron effect will linger in the NBA long after he's gone. Young players now understand their value in different terms, because of him. They build brands earlier. They speak out sooner. They think about ownership, production, legacy. That's not accidental. It's inherited. And when he does walk away, his farewell won't be a funeral, it'll be a coronation. The arenas will be full. The fans will chant. The tributes will pour in. Not because he was perfect, but because he was present, for 21 years, through every high and low, never shying away from the moment. He gave the game everything, and in return the game gave him immortality. There will be debates, of course. Is he the greatest ever? Better than Jordan? Than Kobe? Than Kareem? The truth is, LeBron's greatness doesn't require comparison. He didn't copy a path, he created his own. He didn't win in the same way. He won in his way. And that's what sets him apart. He leaves the game not as a player chasing glory, but as a symbol of what's possible when talent, discipline, and vision align. There may never be another like him. And so, whenever the final buzzer sounds, the legacy is secure. A kid from Akron who became a global icon. A prodigy who became a champion. A player who became a pioneer. When future generations speak of basketball, they will speak of LeBron. And long after he stops lacing up his sneakers, his name will still echo, on courts, in classrooms, in boardrooms, and in history. Because legends retire. But legacies? They live forever.